Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back. Today we are finally able to dive into the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Out of everything that had been announced about the future slate, this is like quite literally the only thing I didn't need any convincing to just be ready to jump on board with, because I love the original show so much. Arguably, and maybe not even arguably, I think it may be the best comic book TV show that we've ever gotten, especially in live action, at least. And I love it to death. I've seen it so many times through. Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock is a highlight, a standout. Vincent D'Onofrio's Fisk are once-in-a-lifetime castings in my mind. On top of that, just the way that kind of grew out from itself into the greater Defenders, even through their pits and valleys, I still really enjoyed it all, especially Jon Bernthal's Punisher, which is also making a return. I think the other day they announced that we're going to be getting a special presentation starring him exclusively, which is awesome. I'm glad that they're leaning back into this and that they ditched this whole like reboot plan that they were going on, and that this is basically, in essence, a continuation, a season 4 of the original series. After all the early reactions that come out from people that have already gotten to watch this, some people have gotten to watch the first 2 episodes, some people have gotten to watch the whole season already. And so far, it seems like the overwhelming majority of people are praising the show's return, which is fantastic. I hope I feel the same going into this. I always try to use that to quell maybe some of my own concerns at times, but as we know, sometimes you're not going to feel the same as everybody else who's checked it out. So we are here. So let's get ready to dive in for ourselves. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up with the time codes for actually the entire episode. Over there, get the same thing for all the other shows and movies we cover on the channel. You also get to suggest and vote on movies we react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel, help us do the things we do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. Huge shout out to the team over at Prepper for helping edit down these highlights for you guys here on YouTube. And with that all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 1. Here we go. I'm so happy seeing them all together again, man, after all of this time.
You're evil for even telling me that.
I'm loving the collars, the vibe so far.
These Hell's Kitchen nostalgia is running pretty thin with you guys. You realize that, right?
Nostalgia, reverence for the past, yet hope for the future.
Oh, that is the...
I like that.
So many retiring, leaving, and it's 30% of the force in the last 2 years.
The city finds other ways to protect itself.
Yeah, it does. Aw, dude.
We could just get out of here.
You and me? Yeah. Sounds nice. Although, I think that's a distinct violation of the Friends Code.
I keep forgetting about the Friends Code. No one's above the law.
Nope.
Why the hell are you quitting?
Hey, excuse me, it's called retirement.
It's quitting, and you know it.
I hear you were at a real firm once.
I was.
Oh my goodness.
Hogarth, Chow, and Benowitz.
It's on my list for when they leave the DAs.
Ambition. I like that.
Then why are you in a storefront?
Because it's real. And I happen to like most of the people I represent.
Aww.
You're gonna miss this shit.
Am I? Daredevil, White Tiger, they're the future. We're obsolete.
White Tiger busts up bodega robbery.
We get sued and they get cheered.
The way I see it, the vigilantes are just...
So White Tiger is another vigilante. Okay. Again, I'm not familiar with this neck of the woods as much as some other things, so I wasn't sure who was who and who was what outside of a couple of clarifications that came after in the initial trailer.
I'll keep my strategy to myself, thank you very much.
$50 says I can worm it out of you before eventually.
Good God.
Oh my god, he did it.
What? Foggy?
Yes.
No.
He does not have the game for Kirsten Duffy.
How dare you? Don't underestimate our flock.
Yeah, dude.
I
love that.
Ninja moves
Aw.
at my time at NM&P.
Oh boy. No. He's calling the firm NM&P. Rescue him, hell no. I just wish we had popcorn.
Oh. How's this gonna get ruined?
What do you think about some new glasses? Oh, I think they're a little. Oh, I just remember a little dated. Really? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can't understand it. Just stay there.
I love this aspect ratio change.
There's someone downstairs.
Benny.
Something's wrong.
Someone's trying to get to Benny. Oh, that was wild. Oh, wait. Yo, he's out? What the hell? But he's got the Bullseye logo on his hand guard.
Paranoid. He's probably high.
It doesn't sound high. What? Why didn't you tell me about the
I
threats?
thought it was Benny being Benny.
All right, stay here.
Look, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't want to give you an excuse.
Oh, try not to enable him to bring out the other guy. Love it.
What's going on? Are you okay?
Foggy, he wanted to know where you were.
Oh. No.
Come on, Benny.
That was all to lure Matt away.
I don't know what he's talking about. He said someone was.
Oh!
Hello, Karen.
Dude, fuck you. Wow, we did not hesitate to kick this off with a punch. Oh my God. Oh my God, Dex. Oh! This is fucked up, man. Oh, oh my God. Oh. Let's fucking go. Dude, this unbroken sequence is wild, man. He keeps checking in. They didn't give him the bullseye on the forehead, though. The cowards. It's like they won't give him the double Ds. But this outfit right here is straight out of the comics otherwise. Dude. That fucking pat on the shoulder. Oh. Fuck that, man. I know we saw him being put on trial in the trailer. Part of me was hoping that was a fake out and this was... He didn't survive that fall. Fuck that, man. So this was the event he was talking about, I assume, in the trailer when he has that sit down with Fisk. Well, I know the original plan was we were going to start the season with both Karen and Foggy killed in the original plan before they rebooted everything and restructured it as a sequel instead of a reboot. So, I mean, at least it didn't happen off screen, at least, and I don't know, man. My stomach's all like in knots after all of that, dude. Like, it's just so visceral, and just hearing Matt have to listen to his best friend's heart stop slowly as he's facing off against the person that did it. And even after he chucked him off of that building, the fact that Dex even still lives is some twisted fucking luck. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nauseous. We got happiness for, what, 5 minutes? But that oneer through the pub was really good. And just the way that Dex was using everything around him to just kind of, one, not even just keep Matt off of him, but just like silence all the people trying to call the cops. 1 year later.
As for comment, the governor said simply, the system is broken.
When the system fails.
All around the city, almost overnight.
Oh, what a transition, especially while the mayoral talks are going on. I like it too, because where Matt was like facing upwards, and then when it switched around, he's upside down, like it's this mirror, and he's the angel above, the devil below, but we're transitioning their garb as well. He in white, him in black. Got another art gallery to attend.
The collective return on this month's investment is $7.73 million.
Vanessa.
You left the bed I sat beside for months while you recovered.
I was broken. For months, I had to put myself back together. As I did, two things shone bright and clear. The first was my undying love for you.
And the second?
What we could do for this city. I would have to step away, and anything I was involved with could never be perceived as illegal.
When you were gone, I made this business bulletproof.
I've been informed that I have the 25,000 signatures. It's time.
Let's go.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm BB Urick. Can I ask you some questions about the state of crime here in New York? Do you feel safe on the streets?
Daredevil's been gone for a really long time.
Crime is just so...
Maybe Ulrich.
You gotta worry about getting mugged.
And we need him back.
Murdock and McDuffie? Aww.
Your statement at sentencing is the kind of thing that can bring up a lot of anger and pain and go sideways pretty fast.
I know.
Have you heard from her?
Oh, the trials coming up for
Well, when the
Dex.
time's
I know
right.
what you're trying to do. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and as we're on the cusp of reconnecting to this, all of this just threw that into shambles.
As I sit here on the other side of the court, it occurs to me that justice will not be served today. Because whatever sentence is passed, Foggy Nelson will still be dead. It won't be served because...
Oh. Karen.
Apologies, Your Honor. It won't be served because I don't get to see him again. We don't get to see Foggy again. In the absence of justice, the court can't punish this man. And I urge you to do so, to the fullest extent the law allows.
Mr. Poindexter, if you would like to respond, I will allow that before sentencing.
I have nothing to say, Your Honor.
You showed no mercy that night in Hell's Kitchen and have shown no remorse since. So this court feels compelled to respond in kind.
Good.
In accordance with the laws of New York State, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for each count to be served consecutively.
Oh, did you see Matt? Oh, his tremoring.
Can we go somewhere? Maybe grab a cup of coffee or something?
I don't think so, Matt. I don't really want to do that.
You know, it's funny. I know you're lying. What do I need to do to have a conversation with you? I've tried calling. I've left messages.
No, I just was busy.
Oh, don't give me busy. I can't.
My friend died too, Matt. And then I lost you. You didn't talk to me for weeks. I was halfway in and then halfway out.
Take some minutes.
Okay. No, I don't want to do this.
I refuse to believe that a tragedy had to destroy everything.
But it did. What are you going to do about Daredevil?
I made a promise to myself that I'd let the system handle it. All of it.
And you think that will help?
I don't know. That'll make it worse. No, Karen, please don't. Please don't. Can you just wait for 5 minutes?
I found this at Josie's. I thought you might want it. Take care of yourself, man.
Oh, the porn he got.
Good evening, New York. My name is Vincent.
Oh, he heard his voice pop up somewhere and immediately honed in.
Vigilantes, they run rampant. It's no longer safe for decent people. Tonight, I'm declaring my candidacy for mayor of New York.
What a shot.
Tell me, you're a young person living in the city here. Why would you vote for me?
Because you get shit done. You made things happen for yourself, now you make things happen for New York.
He canvassed 2,000 signatures for us, and he was cheap, sir.
Yeah.
Is that good or is that suspicious? I couldn't tell what that reaction implied. I mean, he seems genuine, but yeah, I don't know.
Matt Murdock?
Dr. Glenn, hi. Nice to meet you. So look, why don't I jump right in and ask, what are you looking for in legal representation?
I'm a little confused. I was just about to ask you.
Oh.
Kirsten said that you were...
Okay, never mind. I thought this was a
yeah, she told me you're looking for
a blind date. Well, I mean, I guess this wasn't about him. Oh, that was good. That's a good little play. That's hilarious. It is needed. Probably.
Yeah, she knows I don't date lawyers.
Oh, really?
Your hours suck and you argue everything.
Okay, it's
fair enough.
Sweeping generalization.
See what I mean?
He argued. Fell right into it.
Please, Heather, I apologize. So you're from Queens, huh?
How did you know?
Accent's still there.
Like hell it is.
You've worked to shorten the A's and the O's, but you can still hear the effort. Don't feel bad. It's a blind thing.
So where are you from?
37th and 8th.
Hell's Kitchen. You've been to Queens lately?
Yeah, only 4. Sal, Chris, and Charlie's.
The lawyer from the kitchen's got good taste in sandwiches.
So this is turning into a date. Maybe that was the intent, but that was just the lie that she gave for each of them to get them to show up here. This was a client thing. This was a therapy thing. And it was actually a little setup to get him out of the nest. Speaking of nest, we got birds.
So?
That's not funny. That is inappropriate, it's unethical, and it's kind of creepy.
And how did it go?
You're an insane person.
No, I'm your friend. You can need a little something, something, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god. You need to fuck, Matt. That's what she's saying.
I swear to God, I can read a vibe with people.
No, you
When are you
can't.
seeing her again?
I'm not having this conversation with you.
Hey, Matt, in all seriousness, you need this. It's time.
Oh, look who's in the office waiting for him, though.
You want to tell me why you invited your hatchet man?
He's not my hatchet, he's my investigator.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just doing some due diligence. Stay out of my private life.
That's never gonna happen.
I like her.
Text me a number.
I was kind of concerned initially with how much she was pressing Foggy. Guess it was nothing.
Talk to a lot of people. Half the cops hate Fisk's guts, the other half dive off the Chrysler building for him.
Tired from police work, and now he's helping out here.
Absolutely clean. He came in late, he came in a lot of cash, and it's working for him. He says his wife's some kind of investment sorceress.
If I didn't know better, I'd say he sounds sincere.
Look who you're talking about. The man crushes
I
every...
know, you think I don't know? I know. If this city actually elects him, then maybe New York's getting the mayor it deserves.
You ask me, that's pretty goddamn cynical, man.
Or maybe I'm just wising up.
So, you want me to go on with this?
No, let it go. It's not our job.
I'm with the BB report. Would you vote for Wilson Fisk?
Why are we even talking about this? You know, he supposedly crushed a guy's head.
Good rumor. Crushed his head. I mean, I'd actually like to see that.
Oh my god.
Almost a year ago now, when those cops in that bar were murdered by vigilante. You know, I myself have endured vigilante violence. You proposed registering the vigilantes. That's like making a grocery list of cancers. I propose treatment.
Wow.
Well, it's been some time, hasn't it?
Oh, shit.
I was wondering if we could have a little chat. I appreciate you finding this time.
Well, I'll admit it's not entirely unpleasant to see you again. It's been a long time. Life has happened. You have children?
No. You?
Oh, no. Tried to mentor someone. Well, that's the closest I've come.
Echo.
She in the face.
Yeah. Younger generation, what can we do?
This is interesting.
By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
You don't seem entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? Considering you've tried to kill me a few times over the years.
As you have.
No. Incarcerate, maybe. Kill? Never.
I wonder if your darker half would agree.
And part of my life is over.
Well, tragedy can transform a man. I had nothing to do with his death. I kept that promise.
But now the Kingpin is back.
No. My time away, let's say I followed a road less traveled. And at its end, I found a new man.
The mayor of New York. Answer me this. Why is it I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system?
Things are not good out there. Why did you stop being a vigilante?
Vigilante is a loaded word.
Parlance of our time.
My best friend was killed. The line was crossed.
I was told you tried to kill Benjamin Poindexter.
Tried. Didn't have to live with that stain because he ended up surviving, but then there's the guilt of what he did.
I was raised to believe in grace, that we can be touched by the divine and transform. So if you say to me that you're a new man, I say fine. But you should know I was also raised to believe in retribution. So if you step out of line, I will be there.
You liked being on that rooftop with Dex. You liked how it felt, didn't you? Giving no quarter, dispensing justice.
Just stay in your lane. I'll do the same.
I'm going to be mayor of this town. Should you go back to any of your old activities,
Who's talking about all of this so loudly,
there will
man?
be consequences.
It appears we really do understand each other.
I love a man who rises above his nature. Good luck with that, Murdock.
I love that this turned out to be like a sit down of I'm watching you. Oh yeah, well I'm watching you.
Mental health is knowing exactly when and how to act out.
Trust me.
Uh-oh.
Wilson Fisk has been elected the 112th
Oh.
mayor of New York City.
Oh, damn, there it is.
Fisk won.
How do you know?
The TV in the bottle. Good ears from them. Selling New York as savior. Underneath, he's a monster. I'm so sorry. I just fell.
I just fell, sorry. Charismatically gets her out of this torrent of people. She's gonna be gone. Or, well, no, she's just gonna leave. She's running one side of it while he's running the public side. So it's just gonna fracture things a little bit, fragment them more.
I know about Adam, Vanessa.
Do not kill him.
I'm not that man anymore.
Promise me.
Promise. My fellow citizen, tonight you have ushered in a new dawn. Time of prosperity.
Rogers the Musical, Billboard.
I promise you, I will live up to that hope as your mayor.
What was that?
New York will get by without you. She doesn't give a fuck, remember?
Oh, somebody's painting.
No, this is not good.
What?
I can't stand it when Kirsten's writing.
I want you to know, tonight and every night, I love New York.
Wow. They're painting a mural of Fisk. Oh, the light. God, I love it. Dude. Let's go. What a return. Ah, god damn it, man. I really like the vibe. Like, you can definitely tell, like, there's been some changes visually, and just obviously too, just with the way things kind of play out. You know, zip zooming around with this Billy Club, Spider-Man style. I like that we're able to do a little bit more with that to kind of also, because it helps bridge the gap from the immense groundedness of the world that we were introduced to this character and to the world he is now a part of. Now, it was always intended and built to be this kind of story on the outskirts of everything that happened. Obviously, in the original show, they referenced the attack on New York and all of that, but it was always very vague. Not like with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that straight up talked about the incidents, used actual names, events, and things from the MCU. This was like, this universe was always way more vague about their language surrounding talking about their connections to all of that. And I'm not sure what the legalities were there that resulted in that, but they were basically like, yeah, we're here, but there's some like veil that keeps us away from a lot of that. So now we're kind of in that space. And we've got things, you know, obviously these characters have popped up in different places over the years as well since then. You know, we got, you know, that year that he was away after those events that they were talking about was when he was with Echo. During that period, we get to follow up him there where he had that very transformative experience he was talking about. And now he's back, you know, as he sees that there's an open spot for the mayoral candidacy, and he puts his name into the hat, trying to bury that side of himself and, you know, use his power to do good in his own right. And especially still considering that the world is still dealing with the Sokovia Accords and stuff like that, the registration of vigilantes, the registration of heroes and all that kind of stuff, powered people, you know, he's very much so going to align himself on that side of the fence, because like we saw in the opening, people were so heavily reliant on that. You know, they were talking, even the police were like, what's even the kind of the point, you know, when there's people like Daredevil out there, people like White Tiger out there, just let them do it. The system's so broken, is like these people are the only ones really dishing out that kind of punishment. And I like that through all of that too, there's that apprehension that comes from the other side, especially after all the other in-world MCU events that you can kind of correlate around that. I just like the way that kind of also informs upon their own personal journeys here. Because especially with Fisk's own personal experience with vigilantes, it's no shock that he aligns on the side that he is. But with Matt, after that opening sequence, and my God, that was the one thing, like when I heard that in the original plan, they were just going to outright start the show off with both Karen and Foggy dead. Once they announced that they were all coming back, that just made me, they didn't like settle my fears that they were safe by any means. It just made me think that, okay, well, fuck, now we might see something bad happen to them. Because when you're reworking something like that, especially when you're already mid-production on something and then you do like a whole little shakeup, you don't always throw out everything. And with that already in the ether, it just made me wonder if like, to make it more connected, sure, we'll bring these people back, but now you're just going to have to see it happen. It's going to be part of the story. It's going to be part of the narrative instead of this passive thing that happens off screen. So like, despite that, I never really shed my fear that Karen and Foggy might be in danger. Karen seems to have made it out of this situation, but Foggy did not. With all the focus, especially in the beginning of that, with them talking about, how their firm is doing, how they are all doing. They're in this perfect little spot, and even to the point where Matt and Karen are starting to like you reconcile and move back together, get closer again, reconnect over everything that's been going on. And then the way that they were talking about Foggy as he was off at the bar, kind of chatting up with McDuffie there as well. It was all really just fracturing and segmenting him off on his own. And I was like, oh God. And then with the Benny thing, dude, it hurt, man. It hurt so much seeing that happen. And maybe, I don't know if it shows in the reaction at all, because I think the way that everything was playing out, I was just preparing for something to go wrong. It was way too happy. We were here for a policeman's retirement. Everybody was chatting happy-go-lucky about where they are and where their possibilities lay before them. And then once he stepped outside, once he got that phone call and then stepped outside, I knew some bad was about to happen. And then, of course, the person on the outside that's doing the deed, attacking the safe house to lure Matt away, knowing that he would go off there and leave his loved ones open and available, was Dex, playing his little fucked up little psych game by baiting Matt away because he knew he would answer that call and go running off, leaving the two of them vulnerable. And then him in a full-on comic accurate suit, minus the bullseye on the forehead, but he did have it on his gloves. I will say one thing I noticed in the trailer and even in this, the rooftop shots. And I don't know, it's been a little bit since I've seen the original seasons, but I don't remember it looking that like we are on a set with the backdrop. Like the building, the rooftops themselves look fine, but like the backgrounds on the rooftop sets looks wildly out of place. That was a little distracting during the scene, but the choreo and the way that they were working their way through the set piece kind of made up for that. I love the color palette. I love the visual art style as always with this, and the way that kind of carried through. Again, it's different but familiar as well. But we also had that oneer going in from the pub up the stairs to the rooftop, and just seeing them kind of work through the motions in there. Again, one of the things I love about the fight choreography when it comes to this show, the choreography sells the story. Throughout the whole thing, as Dex is also trying to get away, you have bystanders trying to get a hold of the police. The way he'll grab whatever he can get his hands on and use that as a projectile to like take them out or silence them, or when he had to, he just punched the baguette out of that one lady's hand on the stairwell. But also, Matt taking all those knives and blunt instruments to the body and all that throughout this whole endeavor, just kind of the sluggishness, the exasperatedness, how they're both tired and worn by the time they get to that rooftop. I like the way that it always accentuates how human Matt is. The fact that they embed that physical nature of it into the storytelling, into the choreography itself, because it just sells it so much more. But yeah, I'm just happy to see I was happy to see the gang back for the little bit we had there. I'm still so, going into this, I wasn't wholly expecting either of them to make it out of it, Karen and Foggy, but I'm relieved that at least one of them did. but it's just left them in like a very rocky place, the death of Foggy, because he really was like the heart of their group. And this was the one time where he was like, he really gave in to the devil for a moment. And like what was mentioned when they were having that little sit down with him and Fisk, you know, he chucked Dex off of that rooftop. Divine intervention kept that fucker alive so that Matt didn't have to live with that stain. But the fact is still that he gave in to that desire. He chucked him off that roof. There was no, you're going to the police, blah, 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 blah. That was not the intent. Fate be as twisted as it is, he hit that ground, that pavement face first, and he lived while Foggy died. And then when he was so heartbroken that he didn't even care about having his identity be seen. I like that didn't bleed out into the public though, that his identity was kept and now they're still just working together. You know, he's just not with the cops anymore. He's not a vigilante anymore. But once Fisk kind of put himself out onto the campaign scene, he couldn't resist that urge to poke a little bit out of curiosity to see what the hell that was about. He's like a PI now instead of a police officer. So that's kind of interesting. You know, with all the fallout too, after Foggy's death, the separation of Karen and Matt, now not even just between themselves, but with the country between them, because she's based in San Francisco, San Diego, West Coast. She's on the West Coast. I forget which sand she said she was in, but she just had to leave. And, you know, they both took it really, really hard. They were both really close. You know, obviously Matt had that history with them, but after everything they'd all been through, it makes 100% sense that they would just really feel this pain and it would really fracture them, especially after they had this business together as a trio, as a trifecta. It just sucks because season 3, even though it wasn't wholly planned to be the final season, just coincidentally at the point, ended on a fantastic note for everybody. But we coming back into this world, we had to ruin that to get our characters into a whole new situation. But this little sit down as Matt, after all of that, is just because he did what he did. He's like, I can't put that mask back on. And there was this quote floating around that they were talking about how they wanted this season to be more like focused on the action, getting the story moving forward, not, you know, waxing poetic about the vigilante lifestyle, about whatever, all this other stuff. But that was like half of this episode. Matt wrestling about what that life is like, what that has done to him, even if not verbally saying it, that was the whole story. Visually is about what he's going. Is he going to walk away? Is it too much? Like this whole episode after that opening bit, after the 1 year later, has been about Matt wrestling with the decision he's made. So I don't know. I feel like maybe sometimes, hell, and I say this all the time, sometimes when you're just talking about something, you say something, it comes off in a way that it may not be of what you exactly meant. So I want to think that maybe that was either taken out of context because I didn't read the entire interview, or that just what they were trying to say didn't come out very well. Either way, because that all came out in this, I think, in this first episode. Because I mean, even with that whole sit down with them, you know, Fisk and him talking face to face at the diner, and it was basically like them giving each other an ultimatum. Because with him coming out of the woodwork and running for mayor, that is like a thing for Matt to be like, okay, if you cross a line, I will be there. And obviously Matt can tell when people are lying and stuff like that. And he's like, he sounds genuine. It doesn't seem like he's lying. He believes what he's saying. So like he's given him the benefit of the doubt after all of this time, especially considering he's made these decisions about his own life and what that brings into his world when he does dip his toes back into those waters. He's like, hey, part of my faith is that sometimes divine intervention can come for us at any moment and we can be redeemed. We can find a new path. We could be reborn. So that part of me wants to believe what you're saying is true, despite everything that we've been through. But also my faith teaches me that when people cross that line, retribution comes a knocking. They each kind of give themselves a little bit of an ultimatum. You know, he's basically like, hey, I'm not on the clock anymore. I've let that go. If you're good, you're good. But if I see that you step out of line, I'm going to come for your ass. At the same time, Fisk was kind of here just kind of like, hey, why'd you stop? because I think he's curious, because that's the whole part of the discussion right now is about what's going on in New York with these vigilantes and stuff like that. I know your secret. I know who you are. I know you're that other guy. But since you're not active now, his whole campaign is around this whole, like, you know, taking justice in your own hands kind of thing. And hell, even repairing the system, which is the whole point of Daredevil and Matt to begin with, is when the system fails, the Daredevil will show up for your ass. I like that that kind of played into the conversation too in the courtroom scene with Dex and his sentencing as well, because you could see Matt really wrestling with that as well. Maybe that desire to go the extra mile when he's like fucking tremoring in the pulpits there. But Fisk is basically essentially like, I'm not going to say anything. I will let you continue to do what you do. But the moment you put that mask back on, you're public enemy number one again. They were both telling each other that if you put your old faces back on at any point, the other's going to come for the other. If Matt just continues to be a lawyer and he continues to be the mayor and they let each other do their thing in that space, they'll let each other be. But here at the end of this episode, is his date is coming to a close here. And the announcement comes out that Fisk won the election and is now mayor, really struggling with that. Like, the Daredevil is a way for him to exercise those intrusive thoughts, those feelings, those primal aspects for punishment, that need for aggression, that need to get that out. These things that a lot of us kind of bottle up. And that's why Fisk was like, you miss it, don't you? The giving into that, the power that comes with that. And Matt has even like commented on that himself, you know, and the fact that despite everything that he said up until this point, hearing that announcement and him walking away from that date and the way that everybody is celebrating it, but then you also hear the cries of somebody off, and after their conversation at the diner, it's like, what is he going to do? You had him bathed in shadow with the orange color palette of everybody else celebrating behind him, but off to the side, there was that flashing light illuminating him half and half in red. Just being like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I love that. I like that artistic choice there. Really digging the vibe so far, for sure. Again, like I said, definitely feels like we've changed hands a little bit as far as the feeling of it goes, the look and all of that. But, you know, it still keeps a lot of that original DNA in there intact. And I like it. It does feel like we are just like it is. It's Born Again. It is a continuation, but it's a new step, a new part of their lives. So things should feel different in that way. But I like that it doesn't feel like too different. At least it doesn't feel like that to me. I don't know how it's going to be for everybody else, but I really, really enjoyed this first episode. But we got another one to get into, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you. Sound off the comments, let me know your thoughts down below. We're carrying the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you come over to the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Many share your Recorder Scott, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Cottrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, and Watchtower. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.